for someone who's waiting for the right time to prioritize their health, be it eating right or working out, what would you say about that, and how would you go about it if today was your day zero?
So there is no right time.
Yeah.
There is no right time. You just need to get up and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no right time. Get up and do it. We usually say a bad exercise is the one you didn't do, right? A bad
Mm,
exercise is the one you didn't do. So just get up and do anything you would do. Your friends can be stretching much, but just move and appreciate your little steps. Most importantly, fitness is not even about losing weight,
yeah.
right? It's not about losing weight. It's about feeling happy. It's
Yeah.
about moving and carrying your body,
Yeah.
right? And knowing that everything is doable and manageable. When the approach is right, everything tends to be right. Not the scale.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't have a scale.
Really?
I don't have a scale in my house because I don't want the scale to determine how I should feel. It's what I do that should determine how, not some measure, right? What if you're not dropping a kilo? What would that do?
Yeah,
Will
you
it
feel
stop you? And I
discouraged.
think
Yeah.
a lot of people get discouraged because they want to depend on something. It's about what you're doing. Your action should bring you joy. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you feeding your mind with? Because then it's what will manifest afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to people talking about fitness, you'd obviously want to just heal. And sometimes, maybe before you can even heal completely, you start taking your baby steps,
Yeah.
right? You start taking your baby steps, simple walks around the house, around the yard. You really
Yeah.
don't have to go to the gym, you know.
Hello and welcome to the Money and People podcast, the show where we connect the dots between financial success and the power of human capital. Today on the show, we are joined by Mary Chanda Chabala, who is a banker and fitness enthusiast. And we are going to be talking about how to balance a corporate career and a consistent fitness lifestyle. Welcome to the show, Mary.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and to kick off, we'll just start with a few icebreakers as we ease into the conversation. So, how would you describe yourself outside of your job title?
So, outside of my job title, a very passionate mover. For me, it's about movement, and for me, it's about flexing my muscles
Mm-hmm.
and also finding wins in small things. So, ever being out there. I actually believe opportunities are more out there than being indoors. And therefore, for me, making a lot of movement and getting my small wins is actually very critical for me. So, outside my job, I'm a mother of
Okay.
3 children and a wife. Very much active at church as well, and also active in my social gatherings and beings. In that, running is also part of the social gathering that I actually do, and just hitting those personal goals out there.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like you're a well-rounded person. And what does a good day look like to you, like from morning up to night?
Well, so a good day basically is how it starts.
Yeah.
How it starts is very key because then looking at how you plan your day is
Mm-hmm.
critical for you to have a good day.
Yeah.
So, how you start your morning is actually what will determine how your day will be. So, a good day for me obviously starts with morning devotion, right? So, once I actually do my morning devotion, then I proceed to reading. I'm a
Okay.
very serious reader because then I have to, be part of a very intellectual part of the corporate world. So I have to make sure that I'm equipped with so much knowledge and research around. And other than that, of course, I get into my fitness on a daily basis in the morning. At 5 p.m., I have to make sure that I do a 30 minutes workout if I don't have a routine scheduled for my training that day. And then I proceed to obviously going for work and report by 7:30. Getting to a busy schedule. Then in the evening, obviously knocking off to resting and, you know, gratitude with my family and closing up the day with a healthy meal,
Yeah.
right? And Thanksgiving.
Okay. You mentioned something about reading. So, do you read mostly non-fiction, or do you also read fiction? Do you love the news? What's your area of interest with reading?
So, my area of interest of reading is obviously just researching more on nutrition, and I think this is a passion that I've had since I was young, and most of the bit that I spend time is just appreciating um, why I we have to position ourselves with regards to nutrition. What is it that we have to be doing with our bodies, and what happens to our bodies if we give our bodies certain things? So, I've actually realized that. Delving more into nutritional aspects other than the normal reading of emotions. We already read the emotional books, obviously, after grade 12. We took time to read novels and so on. But now it's just a time where we need to be very ethical.
Yeah.
So my content and everything that I choose around my reading is more to do with reality. Yeah,
Ah,
and yeah, being very much passionate about fitness, it's obviously what we feed our bodies and what it does.
okay. So if you're having a very busy morning and you have limited time, because maybe on that day you have to go into work earlier than usual and you have to kill one of the activities of the morning, which one are you killing and which one is staying? Like if you have to choose between reading or working out, which one is staying?
Okay. Yeah, so of course working out, because then I can still find time to, go through some notes, go through some quotes during the day. But if I do not work out in the morning, it means my entire day is messed up. Because then for me, a workout, pumps blood to the brain, and then it gets my brain active. So I set out. So the 30 minutes, I would rather invest it in some cardio, some heated 20 minutes, 30 minutes heated fitness exercise. And that's it. I'm good.
Okay, so it goes without saying then that you prefer to work out in the morning than in the evenings.
Yeah, precisely. Talking about that, because then workouts, it's very critical that we do it on an empty stomach. And for most of the things in life, you'd actually
Mm,
realize as a religious person, you'd be taught you do most of the constructive things on an empty stomach. I'm not so
mm-hmm.
sure what the stomach does to the brain. Not so sure
Okay.
it slows the functionality of cells in the brain, but doing most of the things on an empty stomach gets you a lot of accuracy around what you're doing. So delving into much activities on an empty stomach is key. So morning, before anything else, before any other thought
Mm-hmm.
comes in, you pump blood to the brain, and then you're active, you're set.
Okay. Okay. And then now, obviously, there are some women that are watching the show that are thinking to themselves, but in the morning, I have to prepare kids for school, I have to prepare food for my husband. How do you just manage to like squeeze that time in to still get time for yourself?
True. And maybe speaking as a mother of three, I've had different challenges, right?
Mm-hmm.
With regards to how best I can actually have that 30 minutes, that's 20 minutes, 40 minutes time to, have a me moment. So it starts with the why, right? Why should you prioritize fitness as a mother? Why should you have a moment where you have to sit down and think about the 30 minutes other than the busy preparing of food, preparing the kids and bathing the kids in the morning? How early can you wake up to allocate yourself at 30 minutes? So, how do you plan in short? So, BAU can be done, right? But then there's you
Mm-hmm.
that has to be very effective. For
Mm-hmm.
you to pack a good meal, you need to take care of yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't take care of yourself first, and most people say you cannot pour from an empty cup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you first pour within yourself before you can pour into others?
Yeah.
So you need to first think about yourself, and it's very critical for women because I think most women get themselves to a level where they even get into depression because
Yeah.
they do not have a why,
Yeah.
and then also we do not have a moment where we think about ourselves first to see how best we can enrich ourselves to pour ourselves into others.
Yeah.
So as we are vessels and we're ever pouring ourselves into others, what are we doing prior?
Yeah.
Right. What are we doing prior before pouring ourselves into others? Because only then will you pour correct substances into others. So it's to plan. Have a calendar and make sure that yourself, you
Mhm.
apportion at least a 30 minutes, 15 minutes. I can give you an example of the time when I just had my second baby.
Mhm.
That was when reality set in terms of how busy I got as a mother, as a working person. And, you know, I decided to reduce on my workout
Mhm.
to only 8 minutes. So I would
Okay.
actually do an arm workout for 8 minutes, and that's it. Take my shower in the morning, maybe do a neck workout for 10 minutes the following day,
Mm.
and, go about my business.
Mhm.
Because then I still needed to squeeze myself into the program, and it has to start with myself.
I hear you. And I think that's something I was also discovering. I think I watched a certain podcast this past December, sorry, where they were just explaining that as women, we usually start off our day pouring into other people. Like, and that was me. Like,
Mm,
I just wake up and like a switch is on. I need to make food for this person. I need to prepare this person. Before you know it, the day starts and ends, and I haven't done anything for myself. So at the end of the day, I am so depleted, I am so burnt out, but again, I feel empty because everything I've been doing is because I haven't done anything for myself. So now I became a bit deliberate. Like, even if I just read 10 pages of a book that day, it's fine. Even if I just do a very short 15-minute, they're like short 15-minute workouts that I could find on YouTube. And I felt so much better just doing that like 3 times in 1 week. And I was already feeling like a different person. I even felt my demeanor and my attitude towards my family changing because I
mm,
felt a bit more happier.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really important that you talk about pouring into yourself before you can pour into other people. So now I think we've broken the ice and it's important that we go back to the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your journey in terms of your career. How did you decide that you wanted to get into banking? Is that something that you always wanted to do? And yeah, how did you get to becoming where you are today?
Okay, so my banking career is a very special story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think each and every opportunity that occurs in my life, I take it as a very special occurrence. Um, so when I completed my grade 12, before then, we're so excited in finding something to do
Yeah.
before you can get into uni and so on. So we found ourselves doing IT short courses,
Yeah.
computer repairs, and so on and so forth, the 3 months courses. Then after which, we would find ourselves something to do. So apparently for me, I did some computer hardware maintenance for like 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I got myself a relief job
Mm-hmm.
at some institution, and they offered me a job for 3 months.
Okay.
That was very exciting for me. I think by then I was like 19 years old.
Okay.
So the first salary, they gave me a check.
Mm.
I kept the check in my handbag. I didn't know what to do with it because I expected money. So I kept it and I was quiet. Second salary, they gave me another check
Yeah.
without telling me what I needed to do with the check.
Yes.
So again, a check. Why are these guys giving me a check? I don't even know what to do with it. So I kept it in my handbag. Third salary, they gave me another check.
Yeah.
And that was the last month I needed to work for that institution. So I sat and approached dad and wanting to appreciate what I needed to do with all those papers I was given as my
Mm-hmm.
salary. So dad laughed and he told me, you know what? You're supposed to encash them at the bank.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to go to the bank and
Yeah.
get the money. I was like, how? Where do I even start from?
Yeah.
Where do I even start from? And people at work, for funny reasons, they knew I was not encashing my checks and they knew very well that I was not liquid. So they kept watching and observing. Because for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was a learning point and somewhere I needed to grow from. So the first moment I walked into a bank with dad, then it was not as busy as it is now. It
Mm-hmm.
was quiet, very serene, smelling nice with nice
Mm-hmm.
slow music at the back end, clean people in uniforms, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just like a magical world for me. First time stepping into a bank, the first thing I told myself was, "God, how can I find myself in here?" And the teller was so fast,
Yeah.
saved us so fast and released us. But for me, I wanted to stay even for 10 minutes more just to appreciate and absorb the niceness I got
Yes.
into that particular place. And I told myself, God, how on earth can I find myself in this place?
Yeah.
And for me, from that day, I thought maybe I might have declared something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently, after doing my business administration, my first job was
Mm-hmm.
with a bank.
Oh, wow.
And maybe it's because I was only looking out for being there. So
Yeah.
my, yeah, my industry search was more on the banking side. So my first job was in the bank and it felt right.
Okay.
Right. So right now I'm actually living what I really wanted to,
Yeah.
and it still feels right.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. And so before, it sounds to me like at that time when you had that experience walking into the bank, you really connected with the space. But before that, what was your ambition? What was your career aspiration growing up?
Growing up, I actually wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, really?
I wanted to be a doctor because I was very much moved whenever I saw a sick person.
Mm,
I was very much moved. But one thing I told myself was, as much as I was very much moved in seeing sick people and wanting to provide that particular service to them,
mm-hmm.
was I ready for it? Because then getting into a hospital used to give me a certain feeling. And it was not
Ah,
a space that I felt comfortable with, in as much as I was looking forward to being a doctor. And I think it's a normal thing for most kids growing
mm,
up. It's either they want to be a doctor, it's either
mm-hmm,
they want to be a nurse,
mm-hmm.
some people would want to be a pilot, and so on and so forth. So those were just like normal things that would actually insinuate and try to dream of,
Yeah,
yeah, in our minds. But practically, things change as you go, as you face reality and as you grow. When you
yeah,
assess certain things and realize, can I really fit in as much as I want it? And I think it's a very critical point to actually take, because then we would set up objectives.
yeah.
But then what are the issues surrounding that particular objective? Is it attainable? Is it
Mm-hmm,
something that you can sustain if you get into it?
mm-hmm.
And then you just measure from a pre-measure,
Yeah,
right, before you get into it. So for me, it was an aspect of just appreciating. Yes, medicine is nice and so on. And I was imagining myself at Onza, doing
yes,
medicine, but 7 years, wow,
yeah,
But then I encouraged myself around it until, God just changed things. And, sometimes God says, your ways are not my ways,
yeah.
and your plans are not my plans. And um, just simply knitting into God's path and effortlessly, I think makes our lives very easy.
That is very, very true.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that you were then able to get that redirection into the path that then aligned with where you wanted to be. And so what did your early life as a banker look like in terms of your workload, your expectations at work, and at which point did fitness come to play a big role in your life? Were you always someone who was physically into fitness, or did this interest develop at a later stage?
All right. So the first time I actually got excited about getting into the bank, and very passionate and enthusiastic that I was, and ready to save, it was not so easy because I think my first job was on the till.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first job was on the till, counting money. Um, Something that I didn't actually look forward to. For me, banking was more to do with being clean and looking good and, smiling to customers. But then there was an aspect of counting money.
Yeah.
You count a lot of money, and the note counter is spreading all sorts of debt on you,
Yeah.
and it's a busy day. You're just counting, and most of the time you really need to plan your meals. If you don't eat before getting on the till, it would be hard for you to actually give the customers, whether you're hungry or not. So it taught me a lot of discipline. Of course, it was strenuous
Yeah.
and very involving.
Yeah.
um for that role, I needed to be very attentive, because then if I snooze, obviously I would have a shortage.
Yeah.
And we used to call it smoking, like you would smoke the moment you actually, snooze. So it was very involving and very strenuous, firstly, but more so taught me a lot of discipline, right? When should I eat? What should I do? At which point should I do what?
Mm-hmm.
It really built up a lot of mental muscle for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate God for that, because then that barely 2 years, it catapulted me to a next level,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I moved on to being a frontliner and a personal banker, where now we're tending to customers. Before then, it was a different structure compared to how we have now. When you're a frontliner, you should be able to do completely everything. So you're an all-rounder.
Oh.
You need to know everything in the bank and deliver,
Yeah.
like product knowledge on top of things and everything. So very involving. That was a good foundation for me. And I appreciate it because then it's from that stamina that I built then that I'm still thriving on up to now. So, how does this now bring in the fitness aspect? So, for me, fitness is something that was inculcated in me at a very young age. Because then, for some of us who are privileged to go to school on foot, so my dad would tell me never to walk.
Okay.
Yeah, dad would tell me, don't walk when going to school, run.
What?
Yeah,
That's the first time
run.
I've heard that. Okay.
Yeah, always run when going to school because our parents were blessed with a certain what can I call it? It's certain wisdom that we parents of nowadays are flexy about.
Yeah.
They believed in us so much that
Yeah.
we could move mountains even at a young age.
Yeah.
So a parent would trust you that you go to school and come back and go the following day and come back. So they'll tell you, go to school, run.
Yes.
When you knock off coming back from school, run.
Run. Oh wow.
That's it. They
Yeah.
would never actually tell you what the risks were around you running. But they'll just tell me, Mary, when you go to school, run. When coming back, run. The same route that you use when going should be the route that you use when going should be a different route that you use when coming. Don't use the same route. Right? The risks were calculated. Then obviously he was thinking if these guys know my child has gone this way, there could be a lot of risks if she uses the same route.
Yes.
So go to school running. When coming back, use a different route.
But run.
Run.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but run. So because of that, at school, obviously, I found myself in short racing. What were we calling them? Relay, 500 meters. For me, those were my preferred activities in school because then I would always run all the
Yeah.
time. So I think that built me up. And moving forward, it has actually helped me because then I was thinking I would still run and be very alert in class.
Yeah.
Knock off, go home after running, and still wants to play at home.
Yeah.
So I realized exercise is not something that will tire you.
Yeah.
Yeah, psychologically, exercise is something that builds you up, motivates you, and gives you a certain momentum that you can't really understand.
Yeah.
Right? There's a way our body works and a mechanism that I feel we should study on and just see. If you work out, why do you get more energetic to
Yeah.
do physical work? Because then, of course, we'll say the endorphins, we'll say, and all those hormones that make us happy. But then there's just this manual thing that the body does that you still do and don't get tired.
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah.
Right? It keeps you very active.
Yeah.
Most of my colleagues that do workouts in the evening will tell you they don't sleep early if they do that. So you knock off from work at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
right? And then you get into a gym at
Yeah.
8 p.m., 7 p.m., you're done. You will not sleep the usual
Yeah.
time because
Yeah.
you'll be alert.
Yeah. You
You'll
have
be
a boost
sleeping
of
around
energy.
1 a.m.,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And most people tell you, I get active, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And this is why, for me, mornings are actually key because I need that energy for the day. And in the night, I just want to wind up nicely.
Okay. Interesting. And how did you manage your fitness lifestyle through the different seasons of life? Okay, so for someone who, like I know you mentioned that even when you just had a baby, you were able to dedicate, even if it's a small amount of time to still work out. But did you work out through pregnancy? Were you still running? How did you incorporate fitness even in those different sort of seasons of life?
Okay, so understanding your body type is very critical when it comes to fitness. Um, there are people that actually lose weight when they're pregnant,
Yeah.
but for me, it's a different story. I gain a lot of weight. It's like I just transitioned into someone else.
Really?
I gain a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I shoot up to 95, 98,
I
somewhere
can't
there.
even imagine
That's the
you right
thing. I
now.
become a different person. Now, for me, because I understand my body, I actually do work out even during my pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah, I still do work out up to at least 5, 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the first 3 months, no more running, no more exercises, no more everything. So that it actually now helps me as a mother in the first trimester. How do I now align myself with also being active at work? Because obviously you can only go on maternity leave after the 9th month.
Yeah.
So how do I keep myself alert? How do I keep myself active during that period of pregnancy. So the first 3 months critical, no more workouts. As I get heavy, I start reducing on what I'm doing. Yeah, as I get heavy, I start reducing on what I'm doing, and then I just remain with stretches through to delivery.
Okay.
So I continue with stretches and just ensuring that my body is moving. It's about momentum.
Yeah.
It's about movement. What you do does not matter at any stage, but it's about you moving. Even just taking
Oh.
walks, stretching. Sometimes you can even do yoga, and just keep that movement happening. Because if the body is used to being in momentum all the time you try to relax, so many things happen. You start feeling sick, you start, just getting laid back in everything, slow in thinking, and so on and so forth. So, about my pregnancy period, I make sure I'm active, bare rest minimum. What can be absorbable, I do. And through after the ninth month, and now get back to bringing myself into a body that can actually, fit in office clothes, obviously, and
Yeah.
be presentable around, and make sure that I tone my muscles. So it becomes a different conversation after. So, talking about that, there's an aspect of work expectation. In as much as we have different seasons in life, there's work that is very unavoidable.
Yeah.
And we just need to make sure that we work, right? We need to make sure that we're bringing something on the table. But how do we need to balance that?
Yeah.
You know, Fitness is something that's it's appreciated throughout, at any season and any level. It's
Yeah.
something that you need, right? My mom would always tell me, don't relax in life for everything.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, she would always tell me, don't compete with the dead. So
Oh.
relaxing and all that brings about a certain mode of death at
Yeah.
some point,
Yeah.
right? And this is why now we have people that are encouraging you only sleep for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So meaning you don't have to sleep for more than that. You sleep for 8 hours during the day, you still want to sleep.
Yeah.
You slept for 8 hours, you still want to sleep.
Yeah.
During the day, you still want
Yeah.
to sleep. When are you going to move?
Yeah.
Because then there's something that movement does.
Yeah.
And this is why we get encouraged to go outdoors, take walks.
Yeah.
This is why we get encouraged to have social gatherings,
Yeah.
mix around with people, talk, it's very, very critical. So in every season for me, it's all momentum.
Okay. And for some people out there, I do interact with people who then mention to say, like, there are times when, yes, they start to build that momentum, especially just starting out with working out. But you find that other kinds of demands of work, like traveling a lot for work, mess up with that routine that they're trying to build. Or if they face like a bereavement or even an illness of a child, that messes up. And so, how do you just get to reset yourself back into a routine after something shakes up your routine?
Yeah. So maybe just to start with the people that travel, mm, as a fitness enthusiast, I never travel without my sneakers and my running
Ah,
kit. That's number one.
yeah.
It's part of things that I'm packing.
Okay.
Depending on the place that I'm going to, and maybe security and not knowing the terrains and
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Mm-hmm.
I always pack a skipping rope.
Oh, so you can do it even from your room.
Yes, very
Okay.
critical. So if you have a meeting at 8, you've traveled, you can jump rope for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
shower and go. If the place is secure enough for you to go out, you can do a 30 minutes run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and come back and then prepare for that. But then we have critical situations where someone now is mentally stressed because obviously they're nursing a person, or maybe it's themselves that are ill, and they need to just get back on their feet. It starts with the why, right?
Mm.
Understanding your why is very critical, because remember, you're the first person that you need to put on a what to do list.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with yourself when you're planning? Of course, the cloud has gone out. What next?
Yeah.
Because you can't keep on being under a certain cloud when you need to move on,
Yeah.
right? Life is fast paced, and the moment you're staying back for 1 hour, 2 hours to yourself, life is moving. The world is evolving. It's moving. So you need to move with it. You need to
Okay.
evolve with it. So quickly you need to jump in. And I think for such people, it's very critical that you see what people you're actually associating with. And what are they feeding your brains with? What are you watching? What are you feeding your mind with at
Mhm.
that point? Because you're coming from this
Mhm.
situation and you need to get up and live like everybody else is living,
Mhm.
right? And maybe you can term them as the happy people.
Mhm.
How do I get back to being happy and being active? What are you listening to? What are
Mhm.
you watching?
Mhm.
What are you feeding your mind with? Because then it's what will manifest afterwards. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to people talking about fitness, you'd obviously want to just heal. And sometimes, maybe before you can even heal completely, you start taking your baby steps,
Yeah.
right? You start taking your baby steps, simple walks around the house, around the yard. You really
Yeah.
don't have to go to the gym. You need to take the walks around the house, around the yard. You can even take care of your flowers out. But first steps are very critical. The baby steps are very critical. 10 minutes. Of course, you could be someone who was doing marathons.
Yeah.
A situation happens and then you need to get back. You can't get back to a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get back to a marathon. You need to love yourself first. Take your baby steps and grow through it. You do a 1 kilometer today, tomorrow, you do a two, and you grow by it. But then also maintaining very favorable associates. Who you're playing with, who you're found with, will inculcate the right feeling in you. So deliberately picking who to associate with at a certain given time because you understand your why, right? You
Yeah.
have set your objectives and you know exactly what you really want. So it becomes easy that way.
Okay. So, I love how you are able to make the whole process simple. I think for me, what really demotivates me is when I feel overwhelmed, like, oh, I won't be able to do that 45-minute to 1 hour workout, and that just kills my spirit. But I love how practical you've made it is that even if we can't have that 45 minutes to 1 hour, we can still find time to do something in 10 minutes, and the goal is to keep the body moving. I think for some of us, we'd like to look at the quantity of time that
Mm.
you have. And if you don't have that 45 minutes in the morning, you feel defeated. So I think that's a very practical step that people, especially professionals, can take in order to incorporate fitness into their journey. And also, I wanted to find out from you, have you ever worked with a trainer? Because I'm sure some people are watching this and they're like, how did she have it all figured out? Like, how does she know, like, today I need to run, tomorrow I need to do stretches, tomorrow I need to do an arm workout?
Mhm.
How do you, as a layperson, create that routine? Or would you recommend someone should start maybe with a trainer and then that gives them a foundation of how to go about it? How does someone just start?
Okay, so I belong to some running groups.
Okay.
Yeah, so deliberate and just taking those steps in seeing how best I can shape myself up and have the motivation that I need. Um, Joined some running groups within my neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, so in as much as I have planned and set up a routine for myself that I need to exercise 3 times a week,
Mhm.
some people do 4 times a week,
Yeah.
and some do five
Yeah.
times a week. But for me, bare minimum, I've given myself three. If I exceed it, it's some achievement. Um, but belonging and to a group and associating yourself with people, some people call them buddies. Yeah?
Yeah.
You find a buddy, and then they start training you through it. The first thing that I did in my fitness walk and also maybe clean eating was to find a buddy. Yeah,
Mm.
an accountability partner,
Yeah.
not really a trainer, because obviously trainers would be found in the gym and so on, but I'm a social runner.
Okay.
So for social running, you just need someone to post that they've done their run and you ask yourself why you haven't done so. Because
Ah.
then you feel, okay, this person managed to go out. What can I do better?
Mhm.
I'll run tomorrow and I'll get challenged by it. 3, 4 people in the group and almost 100% have done their runs and you have not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get challenged and you get motivated by it because it's a space that you like and it's a space that you get entertained by. So you get motivated to just push in more and just grow by it.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll give you an example of the first time I started running. I started with a 5Ks, like serious running. I started with the 5Ks. But when I joined the running groups,
Mhm.
they actually put a 15 kilometers run for the day,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
mandatory. We should do a 15 kilometers run. And I told myself, how on earth am I
Yeah.
going to do this? But then I went through with it
Yeah.
at 2.5 kilometers, my first run. I started heading back. Yeah, I headed back. I told myself, Mary, this is it.
Yeah.
But I went back. They looked at me and by okay, that's fine. The second time they said the same, I did the same. I went back, you know,
Yeah.
until I told myself I cannot be going back because now they got to appreciate that she always goes back at 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah.
So they would actually say bye to me in advance. I was like, no, this is an error that needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
Let me stretch myself and surprise them.
Yeah.
And they were so proud of me. And the next time they were telling me, are you even aware that you can do a 21 kilometers run? I was like, no ways. Do
Yeah.
it at whatever pace, but you need to do it. When I achieved it, I was very much impressed with myself and I believed I can actually pull it. So association actually matters.
Yeah.
They can actually stretch you and pull you. You can actually attain results that you actually never thought of attaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good. And so you mentioned you run about 3 times in a week. So are the other days for like other workouts, or are you resting and recovering? How do you plan your routine?
Okay, so I give myself challenges. The 3 times workout is just basic,
Okay.
like what I've given myself to, just stay normal.
Okay.
So I give myself challenges. I can give myself a continuous 30-day challenge,
Mm-hmm.
let's say of a jump rope challenge of maybe 1,000 jumps per day. You do them for 30 days consistently,
Mm-hmm.
but then the rest minimum, at least I would have attend. So I set schedules and plan. So there are
Oh.
times when, yeah, there are times when I would actually maybe put it for long runs. If I do a long run and it needs to rest my muscles and my body, I would actually have a normal rest day. But there are
Mm.
times when you feel you can actually do more.
Yeah.
Your body would actually demand for more, and then you give it. But it's very critical that the rest is actually taken. So the other days left, it's an allowance to just, reset myself and
Yeah.
also see if at all I can attend to any other thing that requires a special attention. But there is minimum amount of actually done a workout while I reset and recover.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you actually appreciate the muscle, when you exercise, your
Mm-hmm.
muscles tear up.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you exercise, your muscles tear up. And then a rebuild is very critical for you to now continue with the next exercise. And I think most of the times for us as professionals, we want to overhaul. So as is, we've actually set priorities. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2026, new year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to work out. I'll be at the gym. I'm going to burn all this weight that I accumulated during the festive season.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I overhaul, not knowing that that will be a serious burnout in the next 2 months. You know, the gyms will be empty, the
Yeah.
roads will be clear, right? And only those that have set consistent schedules, only those that have set consistent plans will continue throughout the year to do so. And it's very critical. So, as is, we have professionals that are in the gym burning
Mm-hmm.
out and overworking 1 hour workouts, 2 hours workout. Instead of just doing a 15, 30 minutes, you go home so you can actually get back tomorrow and do the same thing. So it's very critical that we don't overhaul and don't overburn because then when we tear up our muscles,
Yeah.
we get into some pain.
Yeah.
People say, no, I find my body paining, my body parts paining when I exercise. It's because you actually tore your muscles, you didn't recover properly, you get back, you tear your muscles to a level where you can't stand again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So self love is very critical in the way we plan things. It's
Okay.
critical not to overdo.
I like
A
that.
little goes a long way.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like a balanced approach where you just don't go for the overkill, but you set a realistic working out goal so that you also don't over burn yourself out. Okay, and are there any myths about fitness for busy professionals that you think need to be debunked?
So the only myth people have, the only myth people have is actually the timing. Most
Okay.
people say, professionals say they don't have time
Yeah.
to work out.
Yeah.
And not just for professionals, and I think cutting across, you'd find business people and everyone in all walks of lives not apportioning time to work out. I think it's the biggest challenge that people have.
Yeah.
So that time can only be achieved if you set it on a calendar.
Okay.
If you do not set something on your calendar, it can't be done.
Yeah.
It's like you don't plan your day, right?
Yeah.
How will you work? You fall into someone else's plan.
Yeah.
right? So if you're deliberate and just set something on your calendar that you need to do it, you're
Yeah.
setting time for it, allocating some time for it, and then you're setting it as an objective, because then it's something you need to tick out that you did it. So
Yeah.
if you don't put it there, you will not do it. And time management is critical, because how much time are you setting for it, and at what time have you apportioned that particular work out for? And this is critical, and this is why we emphasize, before you think,
Mm-hmm.
exercise. When you just open your eyes, before you think of anything else, first thing, work out. Then now you can think.
Okay. I will take that as a personal mental note for myself for this year. Before I do all these other things, I should create that time to work out, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. And what are some of the mental or even other benefits that you have seen from having a fitness lifestyle?
Okay, so there are a lot of benefits around working out, a lot of benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So, not just toning of the muscles to have a good body,
Yeah.
not just that, but a lot of positivity, a lot of joy around it, and the feeling of accomplishment happens. So, how you start your day matters, eh? Right? How you start your day matters, because then we're saying, um, the mercies of the Lord are new every morning,
Yeah.
right? So, for you in the morning, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? The goodness of God shall follow me. You start declaring those things in the morning, because they need to follow you through the day.
Yeah.
So, what is going to follow you, right? As a person looking at a lot of challenges and thinking through a lot of difficulties and all the problems that we need to look at as adults, how are you starting,
Yeah.
right? So, making sure that we work out deliberately, we secrete a lot of blood to our brain, and automatically we feel happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly, we feel happy and excited about it. And that joy flows through the entire day,
Yeah.
right? Everything is easy, because working out is hard. If you
Yeah.
conquer it in the morning, you're unstoppable throughout the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
It means everything that will come your way, you will be able to defeat. Why? Because you obviously carried some weights in the morning. What is that issue? How is it heavy? Right? And you're increasing the weights as you're working out each and every morning. Are those things that you're looking at during the day as heavy as what you did in the morning? Right? You would notice some people would actually carry a lot of words. They're even coming out tears when carrying those words. But what is it that you're going to face through the day that is going to bring you to that position? When you do that, you'd have conquered the entire world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sky is not the limit, it's just flying. And getting to the office, it's a myth that, anyway, a belief that people that actually work out are the happy people.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd actually observe that they're a little bit noisy and very joyous. They're, yeah, of course, ready to laugh and smile at any given point, right? Because they've dealt with something in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So people become very happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Toned. And most importantly, fitness is not even about losing weight,
Yeah.
right? It's not about losing weight. It's about feeling happy. It's
Yeah.
about moving and carrying your body,
Yeah.
right? And knowing that everything is doable and manageable. When the approach is right, everything tends to be right. Not the scale.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't have a scale.
Really?
I don't have a scale in my house, because I don't want the scale to determine how I should feel. It's what I do that should determine how, not some measure, right? What if you're not dropping a kilo? What would that do?
Yeah,
Will
you
it
feel
stop you? And I
discouraged.
think
Yeah.
a lot of people get discouraged because they want to depend on something. It's about what you're doing. Your action should bring you joy. If you feel you've acted right, you need to feel happy. But then don't bring in what we call humps on the road, right? To make you sad. And I think for me, it's a scale. I don't have it because I don't want, when I gain water weight, I should mistake it for fat weight. Because I've been drinking a lot of water, I've gained water weight. I go on the scale, I'm heavy. And then I should be thinking it's fat weight. What if I just get a jumping rope, sweat it out, and I'm light the following day? What am I going to do? So it's very critical that we actually appreciate what are the humps that we have around this journey, and what are the roadblocks that we have around this journey. How do we stay away from things that you feel, okay, this will make me feel sad? Remove it. And at the end of the day, you just need to be happy.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think that's a mistake that most people make is with anything to do with fitness, whether you want to be more active or you want to eat right, it's usually the scale. The scale always comes into the picture and it ends up defeating um, some of the motivation because you look at the scale, you work out, work out, work out.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, you look at the scale
Mm-hmm.
again, you feel it's not moving
Yeah.
as it should move, and that really discourages you. So, thank you for just highlighting that you don't actually need to have that scale, but it's about how you feel as you are
Yeah,
doing
true.
those things.
No, it's like
Yeah,
just an addition. It's like in our workspaces, yeah,
yeah,
at work, God has blessed you with this role,
yeah.
and you're supposed to save in that role to the best level of your ability.
Mm-hmm,
But then you're thinking tomorrow you're coming, you're counting money on the till. Tomorrow you come, you're counting money on the till, right?
mm-hmm,
What is it that you're doing around that space that is going to make you happy? In that God still wants you to be there,
yeah,
right? What is it that you're going to do that is going to make you feel happy? At the end of the day, you're the CEO of that
yeah,
particular space. So, which makes us CEOs of our own lives. So, it's what we do at the
yeah.
end of the day. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I'd like you to speak to someone out there in the audience who is feeling overwhelmed and stuck. Maybe they have started this fitness journey 10 times already in the past quarter and it just feels like they can't seem to get it right. So what advice will you give them?
So, it's very simple. Just show up and get your baby steps done. At the end of the day, it's just do it. You need to make sure that you do the little steps that will take you to somewhere and just start small. So it's about just you being deliberate and making sure that you do the self love, apportion time, and just know the why. At the end of the day, again, I repeat, you're the CEO of your life.
Okay, that's a good one. And if someone was starting today from scratch and they only had 20 minutes in the morning to work out, how would you advise them to use that 20 minutes?
Yeah, very critical because then if one has to start, obviously it's just momentum. 20 minutes, you can do different types of activities around the 20 minutes. But as a starter, you need to start small. You need to
Mm-hmm.
start from somewhere. Do squats, 5 squats today, build your muscle, 10 squats tomorrow, build your muscle. And then you can evolve to other types of exercises. But it's very critical that even your starting is actually appreciated and know what to start with.
Okay, that's very good and practical. I think we tend to overthink the whole thing of how to start. So thank you for making it very simple and practical that someone can actually just start this as soon as they finish watching this episode. Okay. And what's one mistake that you feel professionals make when they are trying to get fit?
So just like I mentioned, I think it's an overhaul or overdoing something because then you have a target that you give yourself. And sometimes when it comes to fitness, targets do not really matter. Targets do
Mm,
not really matter. Fitness is about consistency and showing up. And usually we just say, just do it regardless. Whether you're seeing the results, whether you're not seeing the results, trust me, results are always there. Your muscles are actually getting toned. You might not know that. You just need to be consistency and just make sure that you plan and schedule and just be deliberate.
okay. Thanks for that. And for someone who's waiting for the right time to prioritize their health, be it eating right or working out, what would you say about that and how would you go about it if today was your day zero?
So there's no right time.
Yeah,
There's no right time. You
yeah.
just need to get up and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no right time. Get up and do it. We usually say a bad exercise is the one you didn't do, right? A bad
Mm,
exercise is the one you didn't do. So just get up and do anything you would do. Your friends can be stretching much, but just move and appreciate your little steps.
okay. And how does, I know in the beginning when we were breaking the ice, you mentioned about nutrition as well. So how does nutrition and all that fit into your life? How do you make deliberate steps to make sure that you're eating right? And
Yeah.
are you like following a particular diet? And how do you stay motivated to eat the right things as well?
So eating clean is something that I think should be labored on a lot
Mhm.
because as professionals, for instance, my job is a desk job. And I usually tell my friends, how on earth are you eating pulp at lunch when you're going to sit on it? Right? So
Mm.
don't eat like a bricklayer when you know you're not doing the work.
Yeah.
What are you apportioning that energy to? Or else it
Yeah.
will store in your body. And then it will create this, fat that you would not be able to deal with easily. So eat clean, things that can easily be digested
Mm.
based on your work. So for bricklayers, at least it's allowed you can eat the enshima because it will break down before you even know it, right? But for a person doing a desk job, you have a heavy meal for breakfast, you have English breakfast for breakfast. After 2 hours or so, you're hammering shima,
Mm.
right? With bone
Mm.
and a lot of mixed veggies.
Mhm.
You sit down at your desk, you're knocking off at 8 p.m. You get home, you find a very scrumptious meal prepared. Not only that, you have dessert somewhere and you'll be snacking. But then the question is, what are you doing with all that you're putting in your body?
Mm.
And I think it's what we call self-love, right?
Mm.
A strong mind
Mm.
gives you a strong body.
Mm.
So now, when you're able to control your mind with what you should eat, your body will still be strong, even if you just maybe eat something light for lunch, because you'll not be able to break it down for a type of job that you do,
Mm.
right? So eat clean all the time. There's so many vegetables that you can snack on, carrots for those that like chocolates, replace them, and so on and so forth. Just developing very good, healthy eating habits, very critical. Why? Because even the food that we eat helps with how we think, the clarity of our thoughts.
Mm.
Imagine you've eaten pulp and you're supposed to get into a very serious meeting,
Mhm.
right? Where you're supposed to be taking notes and you're seeing dozing because then you have so much energy that your brain can't handle at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
So you'd actually, start misfiring somewhere and
Yeah.
you might not be aware that you are misfiring
Yeah.
until at a later time or given feedback or you review how your meeting was, you'd actually realize, okay, what could I have done better?
Yeah.
Maybe it is not the meeting that you're running at that point. You
Mm.
could have done better by eating something better and favorable for that particular situation. So, what you eat determines what you're going to do, right?
Okay.
So, I'll give you an example for runners. You'd actually say carbs load before a long run,
Mhm.
right? You load yourself with carbs before a long run because you need that energy.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing a long run, what are you doing with carbs loading?
Ah.
What is going to happen to your body after? So, it's very critical that you know at which point to eat what.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and it's very simple. I like that you haven't brought about all these different diets, but you're just saying eat clean and being mindful of your level of activity for the kind of food that you are putting in
Yeah,
your body.
precisely.
And that's just so practical. And are you documenting your fitness or your nutrition anywhere, like on your socials? Your journey, is there somewhere that people can connect with you in order to be able to learn more or to just be inspired by your journey in this space?
Thank you so much. And I came to a level where I was very introverted, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then because of my runs, I've actually been very social and I've realized posting something on my Facebook page is not a bad idea after all. Because then I came to a level where I was thinking, okay, why should I be posting this and what will people think about me? But
Yeah.
trust me, we need to be out there and we just need to make sure that we share
Yes.
what's happening to our lives and what we're doing with our lives so we can impact positively. There's someone who got interested in my fitness journey when I just posted on my status a run that I did and continued posting. And this person was going through some depression. And,
Oh,
that's aside everything. And I didn't know. So I kept
yeah.
posting. And that was the time when I was telling myself, even today I post? Ah, no, ah, no. But then when that person approached me and told me, Mary, I am so motivated. I
Mm.
need to start this. I've been going through this, but then I always see you post and
Mm-hmm.
being happy, like she would always see me happy in my post because I've achieved something.
Yes.
So she just wanted the same happiness that I was feeling afterwards and connected. From that time, I actually thought, wow, I can really be out there with this because then if it's touching lives and
Yeah.
sending the right message to people, then I should better do it. So I capitalized more on my Facebook
Yeah.
page just to capture the right audience and also belonging to different social running groups also on Facebook and LinkedIn as is.
Okay. Okay. So people can follow you as Mary Chanda on your Facebook
Yes,
and
people can
LinkedIn.
follow me as Maria Chanda
Okay.
on my Facebook and as Mary Chanda on my LinkedIn.
Okay, we will be sure to attach the links to the description of this video. So, thank you so much, Mary, for sharing your journey with fitness and blending that with corporate. And in conclusion, do you have any final message for professionals trying to balance ambition as well as overall well being?
Thank you so much. Um, my last and final words would be invest in yourself, invest in your health, because then you need to pour out so much as a professional, so much expectation is needed out there, but then you can't pour from an empty cup. So it starts with yourself. Start with yourself and shine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mary. I have thoroughly enjoyed this episode. If none of you have taken anything from this, I think this episode has been so personal to me, and I am geared to just start taking those baby steps, practical steps, and to also just be mindful even in how I am approaching nutrition. What has been your biggest takeaway from this episode? Please don't forget to comment that in the comment section. And as usual, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of such content. This has been Delia from the Money and People podcast. Bye.